Sue Borison here from Your Teen Media. Today I'm here with Keith Terlonge, who is a school counselor at Beachwood Middle School. Keith, thanks so much for being here with us.
Oh, not a problem. My pleasure.
So Keith, there's so much out there right now about parent frustration, parent exhaustion, student checkout, but there are also some victories during the past 2 months that schools are seeing with their students. So can you share a little bit of what Beachwood is seeing in terms, Beachwood Middle School in particular? What are some of the wins?
Yeah. So we're definitely seeing a lot of our students learning time management skills that they really didn't have before. Before, we were telling them when to do everything. And now they have a week to get these assignments done. And they've had to learn how to manage that, how to use their calendar in a way they haven't had before. And I think one of the things we can do when going back and hopefully we're back in September or August, is helping them incorporate that on a day-to-day basis. Having teachers, they're always going to have projects. A lot of our teachers like doing projects, things that are due in the future, helping them master that skill earlier, because we're seeing the earlier they learn those skills, the more beneficial and the easier they'll come later on.
That's great. So, and how about like in terms of interacting with the teachers? Has that been something positive? Have the teachers had a hard time with reaching out to kids or kids reaching out to them?
I think also we're reaching out in different ways. I mean, it's harder because we're not seeing them face to face. They're the students that kind of try to avoid you because they're nervous. And then you build that relationship just on that day-to-day basis, just grinding it out. And they eventually are like, you know what, you're actually kind of cool. I do want to talk to you. And, we kind of miss out on that. But also we're sending out, we're making videos the kids are loving. We just filmed a staff version of Lean on Me with all the staff members playing instruments or singing, and the students really like that. So they're seeing us in a different light, and they're seeing us more as people. And I'm noticing a more positive response to that. It's not just that professional, we're here to teach you, oh, I hate school. It's more, oh, you're real people that laugh and have jokes and that I connect to. And I think more students are seeing that than we're able to see that before.
So I wonder if there's an easy way to kind of take the creativity that everyone has had to call upon and make sure that some of these things continue when kids are back in the brick and mortar.
Yeah. I think so our social studies department has also started doing these Kahoot game nights, and it's become so popular that we're playing other districts, people in other countries. So I definitely think I'm hearing rumors of that continuing as well next year, because students really love that. It brought families together, which is another positive about this. Families are spending more time together, and time that they didn't have before. We were working or you're at school, but now we're in closer proximity and it's making things healthier. And I think having activities like that where we're playing games as a family, as a school district, helps build stronger community. I also think then having more of those project-based learning where students are given a deadline, but then they're deciding, how much they got to done and what direction they go in. They thrive in that kind of scenario. And lastly, I definitely want to continue with some of the videos and some of the fun things that we're doing. So the students don't just see us as the person teaching us how to, how to do math and arithmetic and language arts, but teaching them how to be people and that we have hearts and souls as well.
It's great. Now, have the kids been able to, you mentioned something about some of them in the beginning of the school year being a little hesitant. Was there that same hesitancy using Zoom-like devices and kids not quite understanding, or it's a little intense, frankly, like when you're on a Zoom call, you're really face to face. So
Yeah.
was that difficult for some kids?
Yeah, some kids, we go into a meeting and it was just their icon. It was whatever picture they wanted to have on. They were really nervous to show themselves. And in some scenarios, it's because, quite honestly, they're in their PJs still, and they didn't want to let people see them in the PJs. But if I ask them, hey, it's better to communicate. We need to see each other face to face so we know what each other's feeling and respond to each other better. a lot of the students would respond to that and do that, but some of them, yeah, they were shy. I think we've seen a lot of students get better at being able to advocate for themselves because in the building, you can walk around and say, that student's sitting there and he's not really working. Like he looks confused. I'm going to go over and say, hey, is everything okay? What's going on? In this scenario, we don't see them as they're actually working. So those students are learning kind of trial by fire how to be able to say, hey, I'm confused by this, what do I do? And they're having those private meetings with their teachers, and once again, because they're seeing them in that more positive light, that is becoming easy for a lot of students. For other students, it's a work in progress.
Right. Well, they are middle school kids, so
Right.
their timeline is different.
Right.
What are you hearing from the teachers that they're grateful for during this time?
um I think they're grateful also for their students being able to see them differently as well. A lot of them, uh, they make jokes, they try to make class fun. But a lot of students are like, "Oh, I'm going to this class; it's so boring." But now, when you're seeing your teacher dressing up as different characters and making math fun for you in that different way online, you see them differently. And I think they like not just being seen as teachers. They liked also, I feel, they were able to shift their focus at the end more to really focus more on mental health and checking in them more regularly with that, since there wasn't as much emphasis on the testing piece. um, they really wanted to make sure, hey, how are you doing, um, and having it more one-on-one. When you're in person, uh, if you see students having an issue, they may not share it with you because there's other kids around. Online, you can have a sad side chat and pull them in that way and have those heart-to-heart conversations. I'm hearing a lot more of teachers and students reaching out to teachers and trying to have those conversations, even not even asking questions about schoolwork, but just wanting to chat and catch up.
And are you in your head playing through these scenarios and trying to figure out how, like, this massive creativity on both sides, the kids and the teachers and everyone in the school, how you keep up that momentum when they come back to school?
Yeah, I think we've schools, we've kind of been going through a change in the past couple of years about how to integrate technology in a way that doesn't isn't detrimental. And a lot of our students are very impulsive, and with electronics, there's cameras, there's chatting, there's games, so it can be distracting. But I think this has taught us more ways that we can utilize that technology in a way that kind of mitigates some of those concerns. And I hear a lot of teachers planning to do things differently next year. And I think even bringing in more parent involvement in the educational process, like with those, cahoots and things of that nature. So a lot of times, a lot of parents tell me, I don't understand what they're doing anymore. The way they're learning it is not how I learned it. I don't know what's going on. And now with the way the teachers are posting, the parents can actually learn with the student. So they're able to kind of, oh, this is how it's different from what I learned, and this is how we can make the two things meet.
Well, I've got to be honest, I'm tired of the word silver lining, but it's a really good word because when I think about talking to you, Keith, and what opportunities Beachwood is envisioning, experiencing now, and envisioning in the future, it is the silver lining of this really crazy time that we've been in.
Right.
So thank you for the work you're doing, and thank you for taking the time to talk to us, and good luck.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hopefully things get back to normal soon.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Silverman, one of the founders and owners of Your Teen Media. I want to thank our sponsor, Beachwood City Schools. Their mission statement is to develop intellectual entrepreneurs with a social conscience. They believe in developing adults who are seekers of knowledge, creative, flexible, and reflective.